This afternoon, I'm laying out my plan to ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet.
We are going big on digital assets. So Trump administration has made digital assets a priority. With the passage of the Genius legislation last week, I think that we could see several $1 trillion of demand.
What is going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Aaron here. It is Thursday, the 31st of July. And guess what we're talking about today? Well, that's right, guys. We're talking about Bitcoin. We're talking about Donald Trump. We are talking about the latest report that just came out of the White House that I've been teasing you now for the last couple of days. We're also talking about Avalanche. Of course, we're talking about AI agents. We're talking about Stellar. We're talking about Visa. We've got a lot coming up, guys, in this show. But firstly, what a crazy video that I just started the show with, guys. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent literally just posted that a few hours ago. Like, can you believe a Treasury Secretary is posting these bull videos, guys? It still surprises me, honestly. These are things that we would have posted like as a joke back in 2020 when Biden was around, guys. But look at Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. He is on the train. He is on the Bitcoin train, guys. Smash the like button if you're on the Bitcoin train as well, guys, because you know what? Okay, today wasn't the day where we got the full confirmation of the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, but you can read between the lines, guys. They've basically admitted it. Let's be honest, they basically admitted it. And I'm going to go through some articles and some videos today, which will just show you that confirmation, guys. So do not despair. Do not despair. Let's jump into the markets and see what is going on today, guys. Like, as you can see, we are 3.3% down again today. So, you know, the market's obviously still dipping, guys, and still basically offering lots of opportunities in the market. Okay, look, as you can see, look, even though the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve wasn't actually officially confirmed, you know, Bitcoin still is basically not even responded to the regulatory report that came out from the White House just a few hours ago. Okay, guys, so look at that. It's very, very stale here, very, very chill. Bitcoin and Ethereum are just chilling. They're just treading water here. Absolutely fine. They are not flustered at all about anything that is going on because they know what is coming, guys. They know what is coming. Very, very chilled. Let's go further down here and see what else is going on in the market. Well, actually, look, one of the biggest gainers today in an otherwise sideways market is Athena. Now, Athena, guys, we haven't spoken about too much on the channel, and we will do a deeper dive into it in the next few days. But Athena here at 10.5% up, double-digit growth here on a daily, has actually more than doubled its TVL very, very recently to over $8 billion. Okay, guys? So Athena is absolutely running away and getting major adoption, now up to 41 in the chart here. And Story as well, Story Protocol, of course, with their narrative of programmable IP on-chain, has also seen dramatic rise here, 7.5% up to date. And Ton also, guys, with 5.3% rise. But look, you know what? Today is about Bitcoin. Okay, today is about Bitcoin. I started the video purposely with the Treasury Secretary because that's what the major news is today. Now, before we talk about the report that came out from the White House earlier today, let's actually just head over because Michael Saylor here has once again acquired 21,021 Bitcoin for $2.46 billion. Okay, that's $117,256 per Bitcoin, and that means as of the 29th of July, we hodl, not we, unfortunately not us on the channel, but you know what? If we build this community together, who knows, maybe one day, we hodl 628,791 Bitcoin. This is MicroStrategy, and they have now acquired for $46 billion, man.
Damn. I'm sorry.
Man.
I'm sorry.
And look at that, you know, Michael Saylor, he is the man. Every time we've had any kind of wobble in the market, any kind of dip, even when the times were not bullish like it is today, Michael Saylor just walks in and goes, I fancy that, and off you go. And actually, Sweep here, one of my buddies on X, is actually asked Grok, how much money has Saylor made from holding Bitcoin? I don't know if you guys saw that. How much money do you think Saylor has made from holding and buying Bitcoin? Any guesses? Well, Grok is saying here, unrealized profits of $28 billion.
We knew it was going to be bumpy.
And they haven't sold any. And do you know what? That $28 billion is the bear case, right? That $28 billion is like right now, it's like the bottom. That is going to be going into multiple hundreds of billions, guys, over the years. So unbelievable financial bet, obviously, that Michael Saylor placed in Bitcoin. And wow, look how it pays off, guys. In what other industry can you get those kind of gains? Now, look, let's jump into CoinDesk here, okay? Because CoinDesk, let me look at this headline from CoinDesk, okay? So remember, I was teasing you saying the US is going to potentially announce directly purchasing Bitcoin from by the strategic reserve, but the US Bitcoin reserve is coming, Bo Hines says. So what's there to be worried about? Yes, the report really didn't give us that final confirmation, but Mr. Bo Hines here and Treasury's Tyler Williams gave CoinDesk an inside take on the new report. And apparently they are two of President Donald Trump's leading officials on crypto. Okay, and he said people will be very, very pleased. So do you know what, guys? Let's just wait a few more months. Hines said the infrastructure work is underway for the Bitcoin reserve, and those waiting for it should be very pleased. And you know what, guys? It's like, if the US is doing all of this, do you really think that China and Russia and all the superpowers in crypto, but I'm particularly talking about China because China have like banned crypto and they've been anti-crypto for some time now, although we all know that a lot of their crypto matters happen in Hong Kong. But, you know, let's be honest, they're not going all in on it at all, like far from it, like the US are. And now they're probably looking over their shoulders right now going, bugger. We're going to have to get involved here because the US are making extremely quick strides. The US is absolutely sprinting to the finish line, guys. You know, the US is Usain Bolt right now. Like, they are just getting through it, building regulations, building infrastructure, launching stablecoins. You know, like, they're just absolutely everywhere right now. You know, so many companies now putting Bitcoin in their reserve. And yeah, it's just going to keep going. It's not going to change. And China need to catch up because they're far too behind. And obviously that's so bullish for the crypto market because China's going to have to aggressively get involved. Otherwise they may feel, which they do always, you know, tend to feel, an existential threat that they could, you know, fall back, let's say, you know, in the economy. So look, guys, absolutely, you know, epic news. Like I said, I think this is going to drastically continue to make other countries and other major superpowers around the world sit up and take notice of what the US is actually doing here. Now, Pete Rizzo also posted this, which is a video from one of the White House advisors confirming the strategic Bitcoin reserve is coming and that investors will be very pleased, as we spoke about in CoinDesk. But let me just play you the video.
We have it. It's been established through executive order in the SPR. We also have the strategic national stockpile. You know, the digital assets national stockpile. I think that one, we wanted to recognize Bitcoin for being unique, and we talk about, you know, what that looks like and kind of the threshold that Bitcoin has created. You know, it's in a class of its own, and everyone recognizes that. But we also wanted to give credence to the work and the development that's happening across other ecosystems, and that's why we have this national stockpile alongside. You know, this actually requires some labor to get this set up properly. You have to build the infrastructure. You have to make sure that you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's to get this done the right way and have long-term success with it. But I've said ad nauseum, you know, we do believe in accumulation, obviously in budget neutral ways, as the president's outlined, but there are countless ways that we can engage in that. We'll act on those that can be most expeditiously implemented. And I think.
So look, there you have it, guys. You get the gist of it. As you can hear him say, investors are going to be very, very pleased. We believe in accumulation. And ultimately, what the US is doing is just making their country the hub for all things decentralized finance, all things Bitcoin, basically telling, you know, people that are building in this industry, we are here. We want all the US, you know, main US businessmen that have left to come back to build with us here in the US and take advantage of a very, very, very positive administration. So unbelievable stuff, guys. Now, actually, if we move on here, if you've actually read the whole White House crypto report, it's around 60 pages long. Okay, guys, so it's pretty long. Now, if you don't fancy reading the whole 60 pages, I don't blame you. But here are all the coins that were mentioned or alluded to in the report. So if you're looking for bullish signals, don't worry, I got you. Okay, Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, XRP, HBAR, which obviously from Hedera, Ondo, and Link. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 7 coins mentioned, guys, and 6 altcoins. Okay, so there you have it. I guess, you know, obviously Ondo, Hedera is probably a bit of an outlier, maybe not as expected. Chainlink, you know, we know Sergey Nazarov has been in a lot of those meetings, and Trump's been speaking very highly of Chainlink and Sergey, and yeah, Sol, ETH, and Bitcoin I think are not a surprise. XRP also not a surprise, guys. But like in terms of, you know, there's been lots of baskets in so many different trading apps, right? America Coins, that was like really getting popular, especially quite, you know, 4 or 5 months ago. Well, look, these are like confirmed America Coins. They were in the most recent White House crypto report, in which case you can probably feel pretty comfortable in those bags, so long as their co-founders XRP stop selling their tokens on retail. Right. Anyway, let's move on to the next story, guys, because we have another major piece really of institutional adoption is that Visa are expanding stablecoin settlement to include PayPal's PYUSD, Paxos issued USDG, and Circle's EURC, and additionally add support for Stellar and Solana. Okay, so Scott, that was a bit of a mouthful, wasn't it? But look, basically, guys, we saw the news just earlier today, a couple of days ago, which I covered in the video about PayPal integrating 100 plus cryptocurrencies to be used on their platform, guys. And so basically merchants can buy and sell and basically receive payment in crypto, which is going to save 90% of fees. And obviously PayPal's PYUSD is already, but is going to become even more so a massively big deal, because of course they're obviously going to favorite their own stablecoin, right? For remittances and transactions, etc. So Visa having PayPal's PYUSD, there is obviously very, very important. Now, look, I'm not surprised about them adding Stellar. Stellar's been around for a very long time. They're very institutional. They're kind of US based. Avalanche was a little bit more surprising, I think, to see Avalanche, just make its way in there. I see, like I said to you earlier on a couple of other videos, Avalanche is just creeping into discussions everywhere I go. If I'm talking about DeFi, RWA, institution, Avalanche is getting mentioned again and again. Okay, actually, if we head over here, our friend here, Mash, who works with Blackhole, by the way, BD at Blackhole, he actually posted here, the AVAX net inflow has an 866% increase in the last 24 hours, okay? Now, that's a pretty major increase. As you can see on the one-day change here, the others were all down, but Avalanche had an 866% increase in the Avalanche bridge. So, make of that what you will, guys. Avalanche is definitely heating up, whatever way you want to say. And they're not the only ones. They're not the only ones, guys. Of course, also Hyperliquid, Hyper EVM, their new blockchain has been absolutely blowing up, unsurprisingly. And we also got the news that Pendle has now bridged also over to Hyperliquid as well. And they're not the only ones, guys. Hyperliquid is doing crazy. 75% of all DEX, of DEX futures being on Hyperliquid at the moment, DEX perps, is just insane, guys. Okay, but look, Avalanche is looking promising. Now, the thing is, I haven't spoken about AI agents for a while, and that I love AI agents and DeFi and DeFi. In fact, I feel quite guilty. For those of you that follow my channel, I do feel quite guilty that I haven't covered DeFi and AI agents in the last few days. And you know what? I admit it. The space has kind of chilled a little bit, and there's not as much news coming out, and I want to make sure that we cover the major news, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to cover DeFi and AI agents, guys, because I love AI, okay? I actually won AI KOL of the Year award at Paris Blockchain Week, so of course, we're going to keep covering AI. Now, look, Giza is a project that we've covered before on the base ecosystem, and now I want to actually let you guys know, because they're now live inside of Binance Wallet. Now, why is this important? Well, we've all been looking for a product that allows us to passively, basically optimize our DeFi yield with the money in our wallet. I'm sure all of us right now, if you have any US dollar or crypto or any kind of transaction balance in any of your wallets, you wish you were putting it to work, because what's the point otherwise? It's just sat there gathering dust. What Giza does, it actively manages, optimizes, and grows your capital. Okay, as it says here, autonomous financial intelligence in action. So basically, you deposit your stablecoins, and they basically have this ARMA agent. Okay, continuously optimizing, finding your best yields 24/7, moves capital while you sleep, stays within your parameters, and they just launched in Binance Wallet. And obviously, Binance Wallet is one of the most adopted wallets. And I'm sure many of you on this channel are looking at this and thinking, maybe I should try it. And I think you should. I think you should get used to having AI agents moving your coins around. You should get used to giving up control, I guess, of your crypto to AI agents that you can trust. Now, Giza, has some solid backing, has some solid investors. Of course, nothing is purely safe. Even Uniswap is not completely safe, guys. They could get hacked anytime. So there's always risk in crypto, and you have to always be aware of that. But then, there's also risk in fiat. Let's be honest. Banks can shut down your account, and governments can completely freeze all of your assets if they think you've done something wrong. Or in the UK,
Story time.
Tell us.
Oh, let's not even go there. Let's not even go there. You know where I was going with that, guys. UK is getting a lot of grief these days, but I'd rather not talk about the UK. But trust me, Giza, Set and Forget Intelligence have now basically launched on Binance Wallet, and finally, I can see us getting back to a situation in the next maybe 6 to 9 months, where the average Joe gets used to having AI agents integrated into your favorite wallet, just earning you that yield with like a one-tap approach. One-click approach. And that's going to be awesome, because we're all going to make more money. All of us in crypto is going to make more money. Obviously, the yields are going to go down because there's going to be so much staked, but there'll just be more and more farms popping up. Let's be honest, guys. It's just never going to stop. And so, congratulations to the Giza team. I know them personally, and they have now launched onto Binance Wallet. So, let's move on to the next story. So what were the key proposals that came out from this report by the US government that was very, very important today, so that you don't have to go through a 50, 60-page document. Well, firstly, the US government obviously is proposing establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And as you can see from the headlines, some of Trump's biggest crypto advisors have basically said they're building the infrastructure already to do so. So that's going to get done. It's going to get done, okay, guys? And the US Director of Digital Assets also said there's countless ways for the US government to basically accumulate more Bitcoin. And they also said, the US government, that accumulating more Bitcoin is an important, quote, priority, okay, an important priority. So, you can read between the lines there that obviously the US government is going to accumulate more Bitcoin in one way or another, and the strategic Bitcoin reserve is coming. Not only that, guys, they've also spoken about DeFi, okay? Now, of course, people are thinking, oh, DeFi, okay, CeFi, yeah, okay, you can regulate that. DeFi, is that a bit more tricky? Now, like I said earlier, so many DeFi protocols have left the US because they were worried about prosecution under the previous administration. But now they're going to create a regulatory safe harbor for decentralized finance protocols, which is, of course, unbelievable news for those in the industry. And not only that, of course, for customers outside of inside the US, inside and outside the US, guys, because this is obviously going to affect policy globally, not least in countries that are particularly influenced by the US, like my country and the UK and the rest of the EU and other allies around the world. There's now industry recognition in the report for some other major protocols, including Uniswap, Chainlink, Ondo, Symbiotic, Eigenlayer, all mentioned, guys. And there's also going to be a modernized custody rules as well coming into place. So updated custody frameworks for digital assets is on the way, which of course streamlines institutional access and compliance requirements. We can only bring more and more money into the crypto industry, guys. And look, on top of all of that, let's just sit here for a second and say, okay, so how does this compare to the Biden era compared to the Trump era? Well, to be honest, it's completely night and day. It's completely night and day. Before, we had enforcement first, regulation by litigation. Now we have innovation first. We have the government saying it's an important priority. They're saying Bitcoin is true digital gold. They're literally using all the language that we were using on crypto Twitter 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, guys, with clear regulatory frameworks on top of that, which unfortunately we weren't ever qualified to do. And the impact that this can have is just, it's mind-boggling, guys. It's mind-boggling. It removes any kind of regulatory uncertainty completely away that's held back institutional adoption before. And you've already seen the benefits of that, as we've covered on the channel with, the likes of Visa, with all of these, public stock companies buying up Bitcoin into their treasuries, but not just Bitcoin, buying up ETH, buying up Sol. The list goes on, guys. Okay, so huge market implications for this. It's just another reassurance, I guess, to more institutions to say, do you know what? We are making the right decisions. Let's press on here with our crypto strategy. So unbelievable stuff, guys. Fantastic to see this report come out. And it's only positive for more and more institutional adoption into crypto and blockchain. All right, let's round off the show here with some warm, fuzzy good news, okay? Because we remember our friends over in El Salvador, the first nation state to actually put Bitcoin in its treasury, is now clearly influencing others within their region. Okay, guys, so as you can see here, El Salvador is going to help Bolivia embrace crypto to boost economic growth. This is exactly what we want to see. This is exactly what we want to see. Bolivia and other South American countries are looking over at El Salvador and going, how did you manage that? What a gamble. And obviously to us, it wasn't a gamble, guys, of course, because we're super bullish. But to suits in the government, I'm sure that they were more than happy for El Salvador to take that risk. And now they've seen that risk pay off massively for Mr. Bukele, the president over there, and of course the El Salvadorian country, that they are now helping others in the region, which is obviously fantastic to see. And we hope that this will only continue to help support other South American countries and countries in that region to adopt crypto, legislation, regulation, and of course adoption, guys. Okay, so as you can see here, Bolivia aims to use El Salvador's experience to implement and oversee crypto-related policies. Officials say the agreement is part of a broader effort to build safe, well-regulated crypto ecosystems that could attract foreign investment and promote financial innovation. So look, guys, transaction volumes in Bolivia has actually jumped from 46.5 million to nearly $300 million in the space of a year. So there's a lot going on there, guys, in Bolivia right now when it comes to crypto. And again, it's just more and more evidence of smaller countries understanding what's going over in the US, seeing that they have a partner in the region that's already been successful by adopting Bitcoin and saying, I fancy that. And you know what? That's just going to keep happening around the world. And the last countries there are to adopt cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology are going to lose massively. All right, guys, that's all we've got time for today. Thank you so much for joining me once again for your daily dose of crypto. If you've been enjoying the content, please do not forget to hit that bell notification, guys. Like, subscribe, comment below. It would be fantastic to hear from you guys. We are building momentum here on this channel, and I'm going to be giving you pure alpha from Monday to Friday, every single weekday, telling you exactly what I'm seeing in the markets and what opportunities await you. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again back here tomorrow.